Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today I want to talk to you about my latest broker edition that I made a couple of months ago. And honestly, I've been using it now for a while and really started to understand the ins and outs of this broker and been really enjoying it. But I'm not just randomly reviewing any broker that I come across. In fact, I put my own hard-earned money over there, and I wouldn't do that if I didn't believe in the broker and what it has to offer. And you may have some preconceived notion about eToro. I personally had as well before using it. I thought it's only like copy trading and they only have CFD offerings, which is basically not the real stocks or assets that you can buy, but just like a synthetic product based around a stock or ETF. And for me, it was never really appealing previously until I really dug into it. And now I can really tell you, it's been really amazing. So even if you may have used eToro in the past, honestly, they developed quite a bit. I spoke to some of my viewers who used to use it in the past and came back to it. They've really seen the transition, evolution over time, which is amazing to see. So in this video, I just want to run you through, show you how I use the broker and share with you my favorite benefits and features of eToro that really sets it apart, and I haven't seen it in any other broker. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that I have a number of brokers that I use because I really believe in diversifying funds. I wouldn't put all my money with one single broker. I use different brokers such as Lightyear, Trading 212 and Interactive Brokers, but now also eToro. And as I said, I've definitely been really enjoying the experience. But wait until the end, because of course I'm also going to share with you some things that they could improve going forward, because there's no perfect broker out there, but definitely so far from the experience I had with eToro, I can really confidently recommend them. Just very quickly before we jump into the app and web experience to show you what it's like. Yes, eToro is supported in many different countries around the world. So most likely from wherever you are watching this video, there's a high chance that your country will be supported. Right now I'm based in the UAE, and for me it's actually one of the best options because I'll show you I can deposit money without any fees instantly. And eToro has also been around for a number of years, started in 2007. So they definitely experienced some difficult times and obviously weathered the storm, did very well. And that long track record together with their global reach really makes it exciting for people who plan to move to different countries. And that's why I'm a big fan of diversifying your investments through different brokers, but also have brokers with international reach, right? Because you don't want to be only investing with a local broker that only operates in one country. And if you move outside of it, you will have to sell your shares, pay tax on it, what have you. So it always makes sense to go with a global broker. And of course, fees are always very important, right? And really, I like how transparent they make it over here, eToro. They really outline it. What are the fees for the various investment vehicles that they offer? In terms of investment account fees, well, the account opening, there is 0 account opening fees. If you open an account, you can go ahead, use my link down in the description below. It will, of course, support the channel without any extra cost for you. It's free of charge, and they really make it super simple. When I opened my account, it was done in a matter of minutes. Really enjoy it compared to some other brokers where it's much more difficult. So this is super straightforward, super easy. There's 0 management fees, which is also important because some brokers, can you imagine, they still charge you a monthly or annual management fee. Here, that's not the case. Now, if you do want to withdraw your money for the pounds and euros, there is no fee, which is awesome. However, if you do have USDs in your account, there will be a $5 fee, a flat fee. However, once you become a higher tiered eToro club member, I'll come to this in a moment later, actually they will start waiving that fee. So that's yet another benefit of joining the eToro club. Now, the only other fee to keep in mind is if you're not being active for more than 12 months, meaning not even logging in. It doesn't mean you have to buy necessarily, you just have to log into your account. But honestly, if you're a serious investor, at least I would imagine that you log in once a year into your account just to check how everything is going. So they want to make sure that way that people actively look after their accounts. As I said, you don't have to trade, but at least log in, which is, pretty doable, I suppose, especially once you have it on your phone. Just open the app and you're good to go. And of course, as I mentioned, the eToro club members, I'll speak about the benefits in a second because this is really attractive and for me makes it really stand out compared to many other brokers out there. Now, of course, if you do use a different currency than the one you're investing in stocks, for example, you deposit pounds or euros, sure, there will be a conversion fee and they will show you before doing the conversion, but that depends on the location, payment method, what you use, your club level. So it's a bit hard to predict. You just have to play around with it. If you don't want to go that way, a little hack is you can just convert it on Revolut and then, for example, send the dollars from your Revolut account straight into eToro. So that way, if you find the currency conversion too expensive on eToro, you could mitigate that through Revolut or Wise or any other app that you use for that matter. Now, in terms of stock, there will be a commission from $1 to $2, depending on which stock market you're buying and so on. And you can very easily just go through, put in your country where you live, and it will show you the exact commission that you're going to be paying for that stock transaction. But the cool thing to keep in mind, those commissions don't apply to CFD trades. They don't apply to ETFs, which is very attractive. I basically only buy ETFs, so there you're not going to have any commission. And also if you do copy trading and invest in smart portfolios, you're also not going to have any commissions on there. In terms of spread, they don't have an additional spread from their side that they charge. They do, however, have the market spread. Now, granted, it is maybe slightly higher, the spread that I saw, for example, with interactive brokers, which is very tight. However, keep in mind that with interactive brokers, you do have the commission, right? Even on ETFs. And in my case, when I buy the ETFs over there, that commission often is much more expensive than the tiny spread that I pay over here. So that's something for you to keep in mind. Unless you have huge order volumes, right? I'm talking several thousands per month. Then, of course, maybe a one-off fixed commission might be more attractive. But in many other cases, my case included, I'm actually much better off in terms of fees here with eToro than I was on interactive brokers, or at least it's pretty much on par. When I ran the numbers, for me, there's really no difference. So yeah, when we go down to ETFs, once again, we see over here, 0 commission, very attractive. Love that spread. Basically the same story over there. And of course, you can also buy, for example, cryptocurrency, which with all my liking for eToro, honestly, in that way, I probably wouldn't recommend you to use it because 1% I find very expensive. I mean, of course, there are some crypto exchanges out there that charge the same, if not even more. But there are also many others where you charge significantly less. I personally buy my crypto through Nexo, which is also not the cheapest, but definitely way cheaper than 1%. And you pay the 1% every time you buy and also on the sale. So yeah, again, I mean, if you want to have all in one solution, of course, it's easy to buy through here because you may have your money already there. So on top of buying some stocks and ETFs, you can also buy your crypto. So it's a very easy and solid way to do so. But probably not the cheapest way to go about that. All right, so here we are inside my eToro dashboard and portfolio. And the cool thing is you can use it on the web or on your app. I'll show you the app in a second as well. Both are super simple, super straightforward. And yeah, really, really amazing experience because again, I reviewed a number of brokers in the past and let's be honest, not all of them are very straightforward and user-friendly. So I believe eToro is really geared towards people starting to invest, but also who have invested for a while. So it's a nice middle ground. If you're a heavy day trader, then maybe it may not be necessarily the best option for you because the technical charts and so on, maybe you can get somewhere else. But for long-term investor, buy and hold, I believe, at least for me, that's why I'm putting my own money over there. I'm really happy with the interface and really user-friendly. Right off the bat, you see, of course, your portfolio value over there. You can also see every time something happened, right? Which I quite like, portfolio addition, deposits, what have you. And of course, then the overall increase in your portfolio size. And yeah, you can see right now, my P&L, I'm up $411 or 3.56%. And as I said, I just started the portfolio not so long ago. So I'm really happy. Of course, it helped the recent stock boost we had after the US elections. That has helped a lot. But overall, yeah, I'm on the right path here. And honestly, right now, I'm only buying on eToro. I'm not investing through interactive brokers and trading 212. A, because my portfolio size there is already bigger and I want to kind of balance and diversify across different brokers. But B, also because the buying experience is just so much easier and faster for me than with any other platform. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to buy real stocks in the moment so you can see how fast it actually goes. Other than that, you have over here your newsfeed, so you get some relevant news pertaining to your stocks or holdings. You can also filter that over here, for example, to follow popular investors, right? If you wanted to copy other popular investors, which I thought eToro only does, but it's just one feature which you may or may not choose to follow. So it's really up to you. You can filter how you like, but I quite like having the news front and center for me. Then of course over here, you see the big movers right away, what's happening in the markets. And then over here also, the next level, I would become a platinum member if I add another $13,400 and I would get free Wall Street Journal subscription amongst other benefits. But again, I'll touch on this in a second, but that's a real big appeal to obviously build your bigger portfolio size with eToro. And I quite like that. Right, from here, you can very easily go into the search box, look up any stocks that you like, and yeah, you get all the insights. Let's go ahead and just have a look at Tesla so you get an idea of how the interface looks like. Obviously, I really like that they sort of filtered it out by sections, so it's not too overwhelming. You see right away, the overall chart, how things are going, the biggest numbers over here. Let me just close that over here so you get a better view of what you can expect. You can set price alerts, latest news, of course. So fairly similar like other brokers, but I think really presented in a nice way, again, without being too overwhelming, because some brokers I find they're either overly simplistic or they're overwhelming and you don't even know where to start because there's just so much information not presented nicely. And here I really find it a nice middle ground between having some graphs and some insights. again, without being too overbearing. Now, you can get a bit more technical if you go into the chart over here, and it will pull up more trading related charts. You can do your graph charts and so forth. Still, again, personally, I probably wouldn't use it if I was a day trader necessarily. You could, I suppose. Then you have a bit more analysis. I quite like that. Once again, it gives some really nice insights, which I haven't necessarily seen with other brokers. Even insider transactions over here, insiders sold, right? Versus insiders bought. So that could really guide you amongst your decision whether to buy or not, right? If all the insiders of a stock are selling, maybe that's food for thought for you to maybe also consider selling, or at least waiting before buying. So yeah, really some nice insights over there. Plus, of course, a dedicated news section, which is also cool. A sentiment trend on social media, what people are saying about it. So that's really cool. And then a separate financial section over here as well. Right, from here you can go back to the left. You have the watch list, of course, where you can add any of your favorite stocks, ETFs, what have you. So that's really nice. You have the portfolio section as well. So that's basically my portfolio. And well, what can I say? I'm an ETF investor and I only have 2 positions right now. I'm only buying the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. So yeah, I made separate videos about that, my buying strategy and so forth. And obviously that's not financial advice. That's just what I'm doing. I'm not telling anyone what to buy, but it works for me. I have on top of it also my Bitcoin holding, which I buy somewhere else, and my real estate. So that's my 3-pillar strategy, I would say. So it works for me. And yeah, that's basically what I'm buying. And you can see over here, once again, my portfolio, the gains over time, plus the amount invested. So if I go into one of them, let's say the S&P 500, what I really like, how they presented, I can see every individual buy and see whether on that buy I'm up or down, right? Because imagine if you made a purchase 2 years ago, right? That position, what you bought then, probably is more profitable than the one that you bought yesterday, right? So I can really see here over time how my cost base is developed, what position, at what prices I bought it. You can also, for each individual position that you bought, you can either add a take profit price. So automatically when it hits a certain price, close the position and take profits. Or you can also have a stop loss order. And that way, if it drops to that price level, it will automatically close it and sell the position to protect the downside. So yeah, it's very easy. You can just click on close any position you want, or close altogether, then you will sell out of the entire position. But overall, I was really impressed the way they presented, which is very different from many other brokers. And yeah, for me, it's really nice to see that individual breakdown of all the positions that I bought at every point in time. And from here, you can also go, instead of my portfolio, click on the drop down and you will see the history. And here you see basically anything that happened to your account, right? Any deposits that you had, any withdrawals, all your dividends will also be listed over here. So if I haven't received the dividends because I actually started buying the ETF after the ex-dividend date, so the next dividend that will be paid out to me, I will see the total dividends listed over here, which is also good because honestly, a lot of brokers make it so difficult to find your actual total dividend payout. So here it's all going to be listed over here. And you can see the fees because I did a test withdrawal. I always recommend, as soon as you deposit, try to withdraw just to see if everything works nicely, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you choose a new broker. And again, it can be any broker of your choice. You put a lot of money in there, you buy stocks and so forth, but then they don't let you withdraw, which I also heard some crazy stories about. So I always do a test withdrawal and see if everything works. Right, from here, we can also go to Discover. And that's also really cool. They give you a nice snapshot of the various markets, the daily movers, big movers, copy traders, big popular traders that people follow on eToro. You have live trades over here, trending assets, smart portfolios. So these are really interesting stocks. For example, big tech. I could go into here, and these are basically companies that fall under the niche of big tech. And you can see very easily how they've been doing versus some other benchmark. And you could choose to invest in that, right? And there's a whole community where they share what they're buying and so forth. It's almost like a themed ETF, but this way it's really passively done for you through eToro. You could choose to invest in that. And you can see actually how many people are invested. Almost 10,000 people copying their investment strategy. So you could easily do that if you wanted to as well. I personally don't do it, but it could be an option if you were interested. Here in the wallet, basically you see the total value of my portfolio. I would go also here if I wanted to withdraw. You can see right now I have USD, but also I could add different currencies. I could show it in different currency if I wanted to. So it makes it very easy to use. Basically, you can see also the crypto wallet. It's very clean, very organized, and yeah, it just works really well. Then we move to CopyTrader. That's another popular feature, which I thought eToro is all about. They do offer the option, and if you like it, that's great. You can see here the #1 most copied person, Jeppe Kirk Bonde. Don't know the gentleman, but he has 28,000 people copying. So then you just go into it and see, his performance. You can see year-to-date return 21%, risk score, what he invests in. You can read about him. He lives also in the UAE, so interestingly enough. And you can see a post, so they do regular posts and so forth, which is really cool, right? Like you're almost following the person. You can see also what his portfolio consists of. So you can click on it and see the holdings, what he's buying, what he's selling. You can see the stats over here, his performance versus the market. So yeah, if you like it, all you have to do is go ahead, copy obviously say which amount you want to invest, and then you start copying basically passively on your behalf whatever trades he makes, you will be making your portfolio. So if that works for you, great. I personally don't like it, but just keep in mind you don't have to do that, right? That's what I thought about eToro. Everybody's doing it, but you don't have to do it. It's just an option. Another really cool thing is the economic calendar. I really like how clean this graph is. Once again, a lot of brokers offer it, but it's sometimes really confusing. So here you have some of the biggest companies, for example, with their earnings, right? Or we can see when the next CPI inflation data is coming out in the US, in Europe. So it gives you a sort of top level view of what's happening economically with important dates. And you could maybe potentially trade around these dates if you wanted to. Right, with this, I actually want to show you how simple and fast it is to actually place a trade with eToro. So let's go ahead and buy some more S&P 500, even though we're already up these days, but still, I dollar cost average every single week. Usually I buy every Monday. If it's too green on a Monday, I'll do it on Tuesday. But yeah, I buy every single week. And well, the fact that I don't have any commissions on eToro makes it so much more attractive than to buy elsewhere where I do pay commission, right? So all I have to do is click on trade over here. It will pull up that mask over here. And one cool thing is you can also short a stock, right? Short is basically if you bet against it, if you bet on falling prices. Let's say you think Tesla is overvalued and it will drop in the next few days, weeks, what have you. You could bet against it and make money when the share price falls. Now, I personally don't do it, and I think it's quite risky, but if you wanted to, you could potentially do that. But I only buy long usually. I'm a long-term investor. And right now, I don't have actual cash in there, so I need to deposit cash. So let's go ahead, deposit some funds, click on this over here. And from here, it's super simple. What I love, I can use, for example, my credit card in the UAE. Instead of dirhams, I select dollars. And for this example, I just want to deposit $100. Add your debit or credit card. In my case, I have my credit card. If I'm happy with this, just go ahead, deposit. And literally, it will take a second. And yeah, it's literally instantly in my account, which I love so much because on other brokers, I usually do a bank transfer because that's the only way how you can have free of charge transfers. And sometimes this will take days until it arrives in my account. Here, you see, literally 2 seconds later, it's already in my account. Absolutely love it. And if I go back now into my portfolio, you will see right here, boom, $100 cash has been deposited. If I go into history, you will see it over here. And you see, there's no fee. Exactly $100. And I have no charges on my credit card. It's free of charge as well. Absolutely love it. And yeah, that's one huge benefit of using eToro. Of course, I could also make a bank transfer, but it will just take longer. And for me, this is just a way better way to deposit funds. Right, so back over here. So basically now I want to buy stocks worth $100. And here is one thing you want to pay attention. You don't want to have a stop loss unless you want, right? And by default, you have a take profit. And I heard of people say, well, eToro closed my position automatically. I never said to close it. Maybe you didn't pay attention to this one. So make sure you say no take profit, because otherwise, once the price reaches that level, it will automatically be sold because you in a way told it to sell it. So make sure this is disabled. And also in terms of leverage, that's something very important. If you have a 1x leverage, it basically means you buy stocks or ETFs worth the amount that you stipulate over here. If you have, for example, a 5x leverage, now you can see immediately there is a CFD sign here. So I'm not really buying the real ETF or asset anymore. It's a synthetic option. It's a CFD basically, because I'm having a 5x leverage. So instead of buying with $100, I'm almost buying with $500. Now, that might be a whole topic for itself, but I don't like CFD buying. I like to buy the real underlying asset. So make sure you have 1x selected, and that way you actually buy the real asset, right? It's a real stock, a real ETF, not a CFD. That's what a lot of people get wrong about eToro. And in the past, I believe they only had CFDs, but they have actually changed it. So you now really own the underlying asset. And for me, that's a real game changer because I want to own the underlying asset. I don't want to have the CFD. So now that I have it, I think it's super, super cool. Now, of course, in terms of order type, you could also change it to a limit order. If you're concerned with the spread, then you can really stipulate at what price you want to buy and trigger the purchase of the share or ETF. But in my case, I'm happy with the market order. And yeah, looking at that, I'm good to go. Click on buy and literally, boom, you can see it over here already added to my portfolio. Now you see, I'm down 3 cents. That's basically the spread, right? The difference between the bid and ask price. So yes, obviously that is something to keep in mind. But for me, I rather have that than, as I said, some commissions, because normally I buy my ETFs on the London Stock Exchange. So yeah, it was around $1.80 per purchase. So if I bought one for S&P 500 and the other one for NASDAQ 100, so in total it cost me around $3.50. So that's actually worse than the little tiny margin that I pay over here. Right, with this, I want to jump into the eToro Club benefits. And honestly, it's really, really nice. You can see right now, I'm on the gold plan, is sort of the second highest plan. You start off, you're not a member, right? As soon as you deposit or your total portfolio reaches a value of $5,000, you become silver, then gold. And the higher you go, the higher your benefits get. And literally it's changed immediately. So as soon as it hits, next day, your tier level will automatically be changed. And you get some really nice benefits. And one of the most impressive things about eToro is that I got, as soon as I had 5K in my account, I got a dedicated account manager. And I mean, I can't believe it was so cool. We had a live Zoom call face to face. It was really, really nice. Now I have a WhatsApp number. Any questions I have about anything eToro related, all of us, basically any of you who have more than 5,000 in the account, have their own dedicated account manager that you can reach out. They even do a dedicated onboarding with you as soon as you deposit your money. So it's really, really attractive. Plus, of course, many other benefits that you get. So this is one of the standout features for me for eToro, which I haven't seen anywhere else because yeah, support is notoriously bad with quite a few of the brokers. And here it's really been outstanding for me. And I really, really love that. And actually started chatting quite often to my account manager. I really like it. So you can see the different member levels, right? Starts off with 5,000, goes to 10,000, which still seems reasonable for many. My next goal will be platinum, 25,000. That's also for me an incentive to put more of my money here because the higher I get, the more benefits I get, right? So I think it's really smart way of them to keep you long-term and help you grow your portfolio and reward you accordingly. Because some brokers, you know, the higher portfolio, you don't really get any more benefits, right? So I think it's really smart. And I know some of you, Lawrence, big shout out to you. You're on the diamond plan. And honestly, the benefits there are incredible, right? If we go through, you see down here, I mean, really, really impressive benefits. So starting off with the dedicated account manager, which is one of the standout features for me, which is really nice. You can even get in some countries an eToro debit card. I don't have that as I'm not in the UK. You can start getting funds on crypto staking as well. And one really cool thing is Delta Pro Investment Tracker. I'll show you that in a second. I really started using that and it's super cool. Normally it's a paid tool, but here if you're on one of the plans, you get it complimentary, the Pro version. And yeah, it's really, really cool. You also get discounts on Financial Times, for example, no withdrawal fees. So from the next level I join, I won't have any withdrawal fees anymore. You get even some access to FinChat Pro. I haven't used that, but seems to be another very popular tool. You get a free Wall Street Journal subscription on the level. You get even higher insurance premiums to protect your holdings, which is cool. And I'm very excited to climb up even further because then you're going to get invited to top tier industry events. Imagine some big events happening around the topic of investing and finance. You're going to get invited to those, as well as handpicked sporting events. I mean, it's so cool. Just by having your money over there as well, you're going to be invited. And I know from one of the members who watches the channel quite often, he said he was invited to some of the most coolest sporting events in the VIP booth, free food, free drinks. I mean, really cool, right? So I really like that they're doing this, as well as an invitation to Diamond member events. So they have specific events in different cities around the world where really, you know, high net worth individuals come together and exchange thoughts. And I think it's a cool membership and community to join. I would love to be a part of it one day. And of course, on the highest plan, you even get the airport priority pass free of charge, which right now I'm paying for Revolut Ultra, almost 550 euros a month. So of course, you know, I also get other benefits out of it, but you know, having it through eToro eventually, which would be my goal, getting it free of charge just by having my money and grow my money over there, that'd be really epic. And as I mentioned very briefly, have a look into Delta Portfolio Tracker, which I really enjoy. Honestly, the overview is so clean, so nice. And yeah, it basically syncs with all my various brokers. Right now I have over here my eToro account, but also Trading 212 and Interactive Brokers, and it syncs with them automatically. So I can see what I bought, you know, all the transaction history. If I go into one of them over here, you can see all my buys and sells. You see Interactive Brokers over here, eToro, Trading 212. So it pulls it up from all the various brokers that I use and basically gives me one consolidated overview. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the experience, and given that it comes complimentary, the Pro version, as part of being an eToro member, I think it just makes so much sense to start building your portfolio to climb up higher on the eToro ladder. Right, with this, let's jump into the phone and give you a quick spin of the app, which is also a real pleasure to use. So open up the app over here. And yeah, essentially you can do exactly the same things that you can do on the web. Very clean interface, really enjoy it. Hope eventually they will add dark mode, because so far I haven't seen the dark mode. But apart from that, yeah, really, really nice, very clean experience. If I go into the portfolio over here, I can go into any of my holdings. Once again, see the open positions, dive into this over here, update it, close the trade. per position. And once again, that's really so unique, which I haven't seen with many other brokers. And I really enjoyed it. I can see on every single buy if I'm up, if I'm down. And yeah, it's just really, really handy and nicely laid out. And best of all, friends, if you want to try out eToro for yourself, then I actually worked on a really special deal with eToro that not everyone is offering. But if you sign up with my link, you will actually get a free course valued up to $2,000 that you can really sign up to. The course is free of charge for you if you use my link, and you'll get 10 hours worth of really amazing insights into all these different topics that you see over here, fundamental analysis, economic indicators. So you really learn the ins and outs of investing. And I went through it myself, and I must say, I was really surprised how good it is actually. In fact, I was actually at the point where I was thinking to make my own eToro course to kind of walk you guys through, because I really think it's a powerful platform. But when I saw how detailed this course is, I just thought there's no need for me to make this anymore. So yeah, if you want to check it out, either way, even if you don't want to do the course or just start or playing around, with my link, you get free access to it. You can open your account free of charge. And yeah, I mean, I really think you'll get at least some value out of it. Maybe not all the various classes are relevant for you, but some of them you'll be really learning something new, which you may not have known before, and can help you become a stronger investor long term. So make sure to use my link down in the description below to get access to this free amazing course when you sign up to eToro. Well, there you have it. Obviously, I'm very excited about eToro and I'm using it myself, have my own money over there. So naturally, you can imagine that I love the platform. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting my money over there, right? However, is it perfect? No, not quite. It is really good, but there's definitely some things that I wish they would be working on and improving going forward. Number one is portfolio transfers. Right now, you can't actually transfer your portfolio to another stockbroker. Hopefully it will be added one day, but yeah, you kind of, if you wanted to move away from them one day, you would have to sell your shares and then rebuy them elsewhere. Now, for me, for the time being, I'm not so concerned because they're really operating on a global scale. If I was to move to another country, I could move with them, right? So that's much easier than if I had to sell it. Plus the fact that I'm already using a number of different stockbrokers, I'm diversified, right? Even if one day I decide to leave them, it's just one part of my portfolio. It's not 100% of my portfolio. So I wouldn't really be too bothered. Plus the fact that, of course, I'm based in UAE. So even if I did sell it, there wouldn't be any taxes on it. I can just rebuy it elsewhere. But it is something to keep in mind, and hopefully they will have that option in the future. The second point are the high crypto fees. So if you're really into buying cryptos, well, then maybe consider another alternative such as Nexo or in other places where you can get lower fees. 1%, I think, is on the higher side. It's not the highest, as I said, and obviously it's very easy to buy it there. So if you value ease of use, then it might be for you, but generally 1% is definitely on the higher side. And the third point that people are talking about sometimes are the spreads, right? The small difference between the price you get at market value versus what they're selling you at. And honestly, a lot of brokers have that, right? They just don't show it to you when they say they're commission free. You often have that baked in. So I'm not sure why people criticize eToro for that particularly. It is really quite regularly priced. And I think, as I said, myself, I rather prefer that than to have a higher commission. Ultimately, you have to look at the total, what you get in terms of value for your money. And for me, it just makes sense. So if every month I'll be investing into ETFs worth 20,000 or something, well, then maybe the spread would be a bit more relevant. But right now, the amount I invest, around 2,000 euros a month, honestly, I really don't see a difference between that and some other more established brokers that I also use, where I do pay a commission. The total fees that I incur is actually pretty much the same. So it's something to keep in mind, but I really wouldn't count this against eToro. Ultimately, obviously, a company also has to make money. I'm happy that they make money long-term, they're sustainable, and the benefits that you get by growing your portfolio with them and becoming a high eToro member, I think really make more than up for that, because I'm happy to pay a little bit of a fee if I get better service for it, right? Imagine you have a huge portfolio one day in your broker and you still have to submit an email ticket to get a reply a week later, right? Which recently I had with another broker, which, well, now we went separate ways. I closed my account with them, but it was impossible to get in touch with them. And well, with eToro, literally my account manager is just a message away or a Zoom call, and I really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about anything eToro related, pop them down in the comments below. I'll get back to every single one of you. And obviously, this video was just an introduction to eToro in general. In the future, I might make more dedicated videos about things like copy trading or smart portfolio to go really more into depth and show you how that works. So once again, if you want to check eToro out for yourself, use my link down in the description below. It's totally free of charge. There's no cost, free account opening. You can dabble around with it, and you'll definitely get access to the free course valued up to $2,000. So really nothing to lose there. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.